Panda, 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 panda. I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family. Credit cards in the scammers, hitting the licks in the van.
Hello guys, welcome to my channel Machine Learn. So you have seen the video title, Spring Boot Project, Make It and Get Hired by IT Company. I know, you all will be thinking, what so unique are you doing in your project that IT company will hire us? So let me give you the overview of the project. We will be developing a Spring Boot project that would be having login, logout, create user, update user and delete user, REST API. Now you will be thinking, what's new in that? All of Spring Boot project on YouTube have these things. Okay, then listen. What's unique here? You will be login with OTP, which is sent to your mail ID. You will maintain session time for OTP. Like if you don't enter OTP within 5 minutes, it will expire. But the main thing is that you write your own logic for it. You are not going to use any library for it. Okay, that's pretty cool. What's next? So when you log in, you will get a token that would be necessary to do other operation like create, update, delete and get user. If you don't have the token, you cannot perform these action. Now in this also, you are going to write your own logic, not by using any libraries. Feeling excited for the project? In this project, we will be following all the guidelines which a company follows. That is, the proper project structure, placing logger everywhere, and many more things. Trust me, do this project with me, write it in your resume, and stand apart from the crowd. This will increase your chances to get hired by 70%. Okay, enough of talking. Let's start coding and make you hired. So we will be using Eclipse as a IDE and MySQL as a database. If you do not have these things on your laptop or computer, download it from the official website. I will give you the link in the description below. How to download it and how to install it. Now, I hope you have installed these softwares. So let's jump into the code. Okay guys, let's start our project. Go to Google Chrome. Here search Spring Initializer and go to the first link. From here we have to give a group name. I am giving the group name as com.youtube and artifact as user. Now we have to add dependencies. So we need web, then JPA, MySQL driver and one more Java mail. So these are the 4 dependencies we will be using in project. Then generate the project. It's taking some time. Oops, connect, regenerate the project. Okay, so this time it has been downloaded. Now you have to extract this project. So extract it anywhere you want, doesn't matter. Now open Eclipse. Here we have to import that project. So import. Now you have to click on existing Maven project in Maven. Okay, so click on next and browse your project wherever you have extracted it. You have to just choose the folder. Okay, now click on finish. Okay, so project is started importing. Now you can see we have a com.youtube.user package, and it has the main class. Now first thing we will do is we will configure our database. So here in application.properties we have to write spring .jpa dot hibernate dot ddl auto is equal to update. Now we have to give the URL, username and password of our MySQL. So our first we will give the URL. So spring.datasource.url is equal to jdbc mysql /localhost 3306, that is the port number where MySQL is running. And now the database name, this is important, you have to give the database name correctly. So I am using YouTube, that is my database name. Now I have to give the username, spring.datasource.username, and my username is root, and the password is also same. So I just has to change the username to password. You might have different username or password, just check it once before giving. Now save this file, and now we will make the packages. So we will follow the proper project structure. So we have to make several packages. So first is com.youtube.controller. Now exceptions. Now the third one is the model. Then services. Okay, first make util, then services. You can make it in any order, doesn't matter, but you have to make all these packages. You should have the value object. So first make, repository is also important. Now the value object. So our project structure is almost completed, like these all things we need, and we have to maintain all these things. So in model we will make two classes, one is user and the second one is user session. So first write the user code. So first we have to give the annotation @entity that tell Java that it is a MySQL class, and it is helping to make the table in the database. So we will give the @table annotation also, and the table name which we want to have. Now we will give all the column names. So first we will give @id. It denote that it is a primary key, and then the second annotation is @column, and the column name equal to user id. So we are making the first column as a user id and the generated value. So we will make the generated value as identity. So now we have to write a strategy. to generation type dot identity. Oops, it's type, generation type dot identity. Now we will give the variable name, that is private long user ID. So now we have to import generation type. Then we will make the other columns. So we will be making user email, pin code, address, and one more, username. So first make user email, and copy paste this. Now just rename all these, so you don't have to write columns every time. This is int because we are taking pin code. Remember, every time use camel case in Java. It's a better practice. Now give all the columns name, whatever name you want to give in the database. So that is the column name. So username, and make sure you give all the column name in a small letter, not in a not as a camel case, because in database all the columns are made in small case only. No capital character is being used there. So now our almost user database things is ready. Now we have to generate getter setter. So the getter setter is generated. Now we have to generate toString also. So right click source and generate toString. So all the toStrings should be generated here. Okay, now so import this also. Okay, now make the second class user session. So we will be having 4 field, that is user email, user email token, login and logout. So login and logout will consist the time and when the user has logged in and logged out. So we have to do the same thing. In this we will make the user email as a primary key. So we have given the ID annotation on user email. Okay, now private string user email. So hope so far so good. If you get any error, kindly comment in the comment section. Now private string, now token. So much typing error. Now the third one will be login. So name is equal to login. So this is a one time task, so we have to do this. Once we run this code, so all this table and columns will be created in our database, so we don't need to fire another query there to generate all this. After completing this project, kindly use it in your resume. I am pretty much sure it will help you in your job search, and when you go to an interview, kindly tell the interviewer about this project. Generate the toString also. Now the main thing which we have to do is create a database first of name YouTube. So open command line, enter the password. Now type command create database YouTube. Now type use YouTube. Now we just run this code after saving it. So now if you do show tables, there is no table available right now, but after running this code you will see there were two tables available there. So our code is started. Yeah, so our code is right now running on 8080 port. You can see Tomcat started port 8080. So now see the show tables, and you can see user and user session is been created there. So far so good. Now we have to create the user verification part. We have to do user verification part. So first we will create a value object. So there is a very big role of value object classes in our project, because okay, you will see the uses of value objects soon. So we have to just copy paste the column name which we have given. So we will copy all this thing and paste it in user Pojo. Oops, wrong copy paste. No, it's okay. Yeah, so we have to generate the getter setter here also, and toString also. And for all the request body, we will be using user Pojo and user curd Pojo only. We don't hamper the model class. So now in user Pojo, copy and paste the user session thing. Now remove all the annotations and then generate the getter setter. So the main advantage of using Pojo classes are that, like we have to check the OTP, that OTP verification. Now we don't have any column in our model class named OTP. So how can we send the OTP in our request? So for that we can make a field like private int OTP in getter setter in value object. Like we will make a OTP in user pojo class and we can use it from there. So now just create the controller. So we will be having two controller, user controller and user code controller. So we have to give the annotation as REST controller. Now we will write the code here. So public response entity, whatever thing we will return will be a response entity, and we will give a name user verification, and in brackets we will first give annotation request body and then user pojo, and we will name it request. So now we will return the response entity, so that it won't give that error. It's irritating sometime. So we have to make a map. We will return all the things in map. So we will put the result in the map and then we will return it to the why it's giving error. Okay, we have to import it. Yeah, so we will put all the things in map because when we return the map it goes in the JSON format, so that's why we are using map here. Okay, so we are good to go. Now we have to write a method in our survey class, but first let us configure our util. So in util we will make a cache class. So in cache there will be 3 hash maps which we will be using to maintain the session of OTP, the session of user. So both are maintained here, so we have to create 3 map. So public static main string OTP map, hash map. So always create these kind of thing in a cache class. Don't create in a user service or a user controller class, because we won't change these thing in during our program. So it's better to create these thing in a cache class. So OTP map to store user OTP and email. So map is not been imported, so we have to import Java map. So we have to create 2 more. So the second one is to store OTP and time, so that we can calculate that our OTP expired or not. So this is the mainly this is the logic which we have to write. Like when we send the OTP, we will just store that OTP in a hash map with time. And when we verify the OTP, so first we verify that when that OTP has gone, and we will compare it with the current time. And if the time is more than 5 minutes, we will just return that OTP has been expired. So we will see all these things in the upcoming video. So it would be fun, and it's interesting actually to create these kind of things. You will also get to know how all these things work. So now we will create a token generator. So token generator is nothing but a MD5 hash. So we will hash the username, user email, and OTP, and send it as a token. That's a good way to send a token. So take input as a string, and we have to write the code for MD5 hashing. So message, oops, a spelling mistake, MESS, no, A, message, Java security. Finally, I get confused many a time in a message spelling. Dot get instance of MD5, in brackets you have to write MD5. You have to throw the exception. Try to use try and catch block rather than throwing exceptions. It's not a good way, but sometime you can just throw if there is only one exception, so you can use throw, but try to avoid throws. Now in big integer we will save our hash. So big integer number equal to new. Here take the big integer, message type. So string hash text and number dot to string. Now we have to do a looping. So while hash dot text dot next, we can use next dot next greater than 32. So you can give any number, but 32 time hashing is good. Now here you have to just concat with 0 plus the hash text string. Now you have to just return the hash text. So this is our token, self-made token by using MD5. So we will be using this in a service class where we check the OTP. So now make the first service user service. So first we will write the code to check the user verification code, and to send the email to user. So just start writing the code for sending emails. So first take two variables we will be needing, timestamp and user present. So declare these two variables. Now start writing the method public string user ID verification. Now here we will take Pojo class, user Pojo request, and bracket open. We have to import the Pojo class. Now it's giving error because we have to return the string as well. Okay, we will do it later. So string 2, and here we have to write request dot get user email. So we are taking an email to send the OTP to that email. So now string from and our email ID from which we are sending the email. So tech app 2101 @gmail.com. So this is my mail ID. Oops, semicolon. So now take properties of java.util properties. P is equal to new property p dot put, and here we have to write mail dot smtp dot auth to true. It's like a key value pair, so true. Now p dot put. Okay, I think I have imported the wrong properties, so I have to remove the import, and I have to import the java.util.properties file. So util properties. Okay, now we are good. Now mail dot smtp start. I am always confused with this spelling. Start tls dot enable true. Okay, now we have to give of the port number as well, but first we have to write mail dot put mail dot smtp dot host, and the host will be Gmail. So do you guys know the how to send the email from a Java program? Kindly tell me in the comment section. Now the last part, we have to give the port number. So p dot put and mail dot smtp dot port, and the port number is 587. Okay, now we have to create a session. We need session to send the mail. So session is equal to session dot get default instance. Now here we have to give the property p comma, and we have to authenticate. So new Java authentication. Okay, it's not coming. Why? Oops. Yeah, it's here. I think I have to type it. It's not taking from suggestions. Okay, no problem. Authentication, double brackets. Now we have to call this method get authentication. So protected password authentication get authentication. Now here we have to mention our email ID and password from which this program will log in to your account. So we have to return new password authentication with username and password. So here we have to give our mail ID and the password. So here you will give your password of your mail ID. Though I am not sharing the password with you all. Okay, now we have to give semicolon. Okay, showing why it's showing error. Okay, now we have to write a try catch block. In this block we will generate the OTP by the help of random number. So take rand is equal to new random. Now generate a value from the random number. So I am storing the value in rand underscore int by generating a random number of 4 digits. So I have given this maximum value that I need a random number till 1 lakh. So now when the random number is generated, we have to store that random number. So we will store that in our map that we have written in our cache class. So first we will check that is that OTP is in our map, like user is sending requests thus in second time, or it's his or her first time request. So we have to check with if the user email ID is already in the map. So we will say that just remove that user email. So first we will remove if it's present. Now we will check with the if condition that in OTP map it contain that key or not. Request dot get user email. Okay, so now if it contain the user email, so we have to, so if it contain the user email, we have to remove the OTP. So cache.otp.remove, and here we have to write request. Oops, why it going always out? Okay, request dot get user email, and we have to remove that. Now we have to write our message that we want to send in the mail. So first we have to do one more thing, cache.out map.put, and in after removing that we will put the OTP and user email in OTP map, so that we can check that the user which is sending the OTP is of same user or not. Like we have 1,000 of OTP in our OTP map, and now someone with another email ID send the OTP, and by luck the OTP matches, so we can't give them the login permission. So we have to check that we have sent the same user has sent the same OTP or not. So we will make a timestamp to make a session of that OTP. So timestamp is equal to new simple date format HHMMSS. This is the format, dot format, and new date. New date. Okay. Now we have taken the time. Now we have to, in OTP session map, we have to add this, like put the OTP and the time when that OTP has been sent. So this is the way we handle the session. Now during OTP verification we will check that when this OTP has been sent with this timestamp variable you are looking. Now we have to create the message, like my message equal to. Now we have to draft the message. I always write the spelling of message incorrect. Set from internet address dot from. So it's giving from. Why this error coming? Okay, new. I have to add new there also. Now message dot add recipient. Now here we have to write message dot recipient type dot to, and here in address we have to give string dot value of character data. Yeah, this one character. So here new internet address 2. Okay, so change to spelling mistake. I forgot to add s there, add recipient. Now message dot set subject. Now we will write in subject your OTP is, and with a space we will write rand int, that is the generated number. So we will write rand underscore int And now we have to write subject, so your OTP verification. So we have added the subject, recipient sent. Now we have to add one more thing, set text. We have to write same thing here which we have written in subject. So we will copy paste this and just paste it here. Now we need a transporter. Okay, transporter to send this message. You always need a transporter to send this message, either or internet or in your daily life. Okay, so when this mail will be sent successfully, it will print message sent. Else we have to do 3 more things. We have to put the user email and the OTP. Okay, now we have to just copy paste the timestamp because we have to maintain the session, so we have to put cache dot OTP session map. Now the randint and timestamp. The same thing we have done in if condition also. Now we just copy paste this same thing. So our first user ID verification service is almost completed. We have to just return 2 things, like first handle the exception, e dot print stack trace. Okay, now we will return success here. Okay, so our method is completed. Now in user controller we will write a string user is equal to, first we have to auto wire it, so we will write @auto wire user service now use that user service here, user service dot oops, I forgot to give the dot. Okay, user service dot user ID verification and request. Just a moment. Yeah, it's done. Now this request will send the response. So we have to give one more annotation, post mapping, and the value will be /user verify. Now we are good to go. We will run this program. Hopefully it will work. So in app web store, first we search for the extension of postman. So type postman here, click on it, and search for tabbed postman. That's one, and just install it, add to your Chrome if not, so you can use it. It's very user friendly. So now you can see I have typed the URL, that is localhost 8080/user verify, and my email ID. Now I have clicked on send it, so it's loading. Let's see the response. It's taking some time because you have to make a session, then you have to transport. Okay, so we got a success. So now we see that we got a mail also of OTP verification. Your OTP is this. So let's write the second REST API for OTP verification. Public response entity and name should be, or OTP verify will be good. OTP verify @request body, and we will send the user Pojo. So now you will see why Pojo class is important. So first let me create a map, hash map. So in user verify you can see how I have returned that map, like map.put message and the return and the response which I am getting from user service class. So I have returned that. So we will have a same kind of response here also in a string. So let me write a method first. Public string OTP verify, and we will pass the user Pojo here. Name it as request. Return null for this error to go if you want. First we will add OTP in user Pojo, like private any int OTP, and we have to generate the getter setter also so that we can use it easily. Now we have to generate two string also. Let me delete all this and I will generate two string, a new two string. Okay, so we are done with our Pojo class. Now we will write the method for OTP verification. So first we will check the condition, like if cache.otp session map dot contain key, and we will pass the user email. No, first we have to get the OTP. Yeah. So here we will get the OTP. Now here we will take the OTP send time, like when the OTP has been sent. So cache dot OTP map session dot okay, I think I have left that dot. Yeah, OTP map session dot get. Yeah, request dot get OTP. So by this we will get the OTP send time that we have saved in timestamp there. Now date d1 null d2, and here we will give new date. Now we will just write simple date format is equal to new simple date format, and we will give the same format YYMMDD and then HHMMSS. Okay, now semicolon try. Now we will take d1 and format and praise it, parse it to OTP send time. And now we will write a catch block with exception E, and we will handle the exception here if any exception come. So we have to handle here that exception. Now we will take time in long diff so that we can calculate in time d2 dot get time minus d1 dot get time. So by this we will get the difference, and we will calculate the difference in minutes. So long L should be in a lowercase, diff min is equal to, we will convert that long in in minute. So diff 60 into 1000. Now we will give a if condition if diff minute is greater than 1. So we are taking 1 right now because we have to verify it, and to verify we have to wait for 5 minutes. That is too long, so we are just now giving 1 minute here. If difference is more than 1 minute, then return OTP expired. And then another if condition, that if cache.otp.contain key request.get user email. Now in this if condition we will take a string like hash request.get user email and request.get OTP, and we will hash this both thing, get OTP. So we have saved it in a string called hash. Now string token is equal to token generator dot md5 and we will pass that hash. Now we have to throw the exception here also, no such algorithm. Okay, first write the cache dot session info dot put the token and the user ID, email ID. So we have to throw the no such algorithm exception here also. Okay, first we have to get the OTP. So int value is equal to request dot cache dot not request cache dot OTP map dot get here request dot user email. Now we will check by if condition that if value is equal to request dot get OTP, so we have stored that OTP in the OTP map when we were sending it. So now we are checking it with that the OTP which user has sent and the OTP which is saved in the map both are same or not. So we have to right now make a repository. So here we make interface, Java interface, user session, repository. So we write all the SQL command in our repository. So first we extend it with JPA repository, and here at T you have to give the model name. So our model name is user session, and in ID you have to give long. Now import the user session from model package. Now write a method public string find by ID will be okay. Find by, and now give the string user ID or whatever name you want to give. Now we denote it with @query and we write the value in the bracket like value is equal to, and now in double quotes we write the query. So in query we will write select U from user email from user session U, where U dot user email is equal to question mark 1. So it will take the string user ID as a question mark 1, and now we have to auto wire it. So auto wire user session repository. So user session repository try. So user present is equal to user session repository dot find by ID, and here we will pass the user email. So why we are doing this? So we are doing this because if user is present in the user session table, so we don't need to insert the user, we just have to update the user with the new access token. Okay, you are getting it? Like if user is present in the user session, we just don't need to insert that user again, we just have to update that user. That's why we are doing this. So if user is not equal to null, so login time Save the login time in string. In the same date format, YY. So much typing mistakes. MMDD HH MMSS dot format new date. Now we have to write one more query, like if user is not present, not equal to none, sorry, not equal to none means user, if user is present, so we have to update that user. So for update query, we have to give an @ modifying annotation, because we want to modify a result, and we have to write the query update user session u set token is equal to token, comma login is equal to :login, comma logout is equal to logout, where u dot user email is equal to user email. Okay, so this is our query. Now we have to give native query is equal to true. So we have to give all this thing to update to fire a update query. We will give one more annotation as transactional. Now we will write the method void update token. So if the user is present, just update the token, nothing else. So @param. Here we will write user email, and these param are used there, like token is equal to :token. So like you can see, the first token is the token which we have given in our model class, and the second token with colon. So the second token with colon we have to write in the param. So kindly check the spelling of that token. Like first token is okay, because first token spelling comes from our model class, and the second token spelling come from our param. So kindly check it. It's a little bit confusing if you are doing it for the first time, otherwise so it will be easy for you. I made mistakes often here writing update query. So okay, our query is almost completed. For update, we have to write one more query for the insert also, because if user is not present, we can't update the user, we have to insert another user. So we have to write another query. So in insert query also, @ modifying and @ transactional is used, because these both query do some changes in the database. So we have to write, like select query doesn't change anything in the database, it just fetch the information. That's why we don't use modifying and transactional in that query, but in these queries we need modifying and transactional. So the query will be insert into user session, and we have in user session user email token and login. So we need to insert three values, that is user email, token and login, and that value will be the values of our param name. So like we have written the @param user email and string user email. So our query is completed. We just need to use this. No, we need logout as login as well. We have to write login. Okay, just copy paste from the upper query, comma, and paste. Okay, now we call it user session dot update token. If user is not equal to null, update the token and pass the values like request dot get user email, then token, login and logout. Logout is giving an error. Okay, we have to, if login is done, we have to do logout is equal to null. So we have to mention that string logout is equal to null. Okay, now we have to write the else part also, that if user is not present, take that string login part, copy paste it. Now we don't need logout here, so insert query will be fire here, that if user is not present, so request dot get user email, token and login. Okay, now first we have to write the controller. So user service dot OTP verify, here request will be sent. Now we have to write if else condition here also, like if response dot equals to expired, so map dot put message, why compute always. Okay, map dot put message, comma, response, OTP expired, sorry. Now return the response entity. Now copy paste it. Now just change equals not verified, so map dot put message not verified, so we will get message as a not verified. Now else condition, if both are not true, then we will write a else condition. No, we don't need to copy paste it, I think so. We have to remove it. Okay, just remove it. Else map dot put success and map.put. Okay, first copy it and we will return token from here first. So type return token and here return not verified. If user enter wrong OTP, so not verified. Okay, we are good to go now. So map.put token comma response. Okay, why it's showing error? Okay, we have to throw no such algorithm here also. Okay, now let's run the program. Too much of coding. Okay, we got an error. Let's see what's it. Okay, our user session repository. Okay, spelling mistakes. Capital E, capital E, capital E here also. I told you before that I made mistake in spelling very much here in update and insert token. Okay, let's rerun it. Okay, this time our program I think run successfully. Now just in Postman first call /user verify for the OTP. Let's see, in user session table we don't have anything, so select star from user session. It will give all the columns, so we don't have any column right now. So okay, now we got a message of success. Then we have to call the other REST API, that is OTP verify, and we have to write here comma OTP colon and the OTP. So where's the OTP? Okay, we got the OTP as 459. Okay, 3 words OTP. So type 4, 5 and 9. Send it. Oops, we got another error, 500 internal server error. So what's this? Let's check. Okay, null pointer. Okay, so in where we have checked the user is present or not. If no entry will be there, so we have to manage null pointer. So okay, null pointer catch, null pointer exception. Hopefully this time it work. Okay, so our program is up again. So we have to click user verify again. Okay, message sent. Now we have to our OTP is 1647. Okay, give a OTP as 1647. Oh, we got it again. So what's the problem? Let's see. Okay, so here we have done some mistake. We have to, rather than putting, okay, rather than putting email ID here, we have to put the timestamp with OTP in OTP session map. Okay, so put timestamp here. Okay, now rerun the program. This time, finger crossed. I hope this time no error will come. Okay, so our program is up again and we got a success message. Now we got a OTP 9436. Now we will call the OTP verify REST API 9436 and send. Ooh, we got the token. Okay, so this is our access token. So we can check in the user session, we got the entry with Abhishek Raj and the token is this, login time this. So finally it's been working. So close the program for right now. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Now we have almost done our 50% coding. Now we just have to implement a filter class in which we will verify the token and we will do some CURD operation on user. So if you like this video, comment for the second part of this project, and if I got 100 likes on this video, I will definitely make the second part of it. Like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, and please subscribe to get the second part of this project. Hope to see you in the second part. Goodbye and keep coding.